Alright guys, time to build a shelf. So here are the 2 pieces of wood that I picked up off the street. So if you can see that, that's 1, that's 2 right there. I wiped them off really well. I opted not to sand them. I just rubbed them down really hard with a cloth, and whatever fell off is good enough for me on this because I am going for a very rustic look. I also, excuse me, doused them in like a bug spray, a bug killer, just in case there was anything growing in here. These are slightly rotted. They are. On the edges, you can't see it right now, but on the edges, there are spaces. You see in there? So that doesn't bother me, and if this is temporary, it's fine. I just wanted to note that while I was at Home Depot yesterday, they do sell a spray that is a rot stop spray for wood. It's about $13 a can. So I opted not to buy it because then it would become cost ineffective for what I'm going for. But that's okay. I also decided that if this fails, while I was buying the brackets to sit this on, I saw in that aisle that Home Depot sells beautiful shelves for closets. They come in gray, they come in like an oak color, they are laminate, but if this fails, I'm just gonna go buy one of those. But here's what we have. So we have our 2 pieces of wood. I have my gloves. I have a paper towel, which is how I'm going to apply the stain. I'm gonna try that first. Again, I don't want it perfect. I want it very rustic. Of course, my best friend, E6000. This is the can of stain that I chose from Home Depot yesterday in the honey color, and the screwdriver that I just dropped. Sorry about that. To open up the can, that's all. And then I have these 2 Dollar Tree puzzles. And you see that these are real wood. So I'm going to give a coat of stain here on the back. And you probably can't see it, but there is grain in this. So that's really nice. I also decided that because of where I'm putting it, I think I'm going to put these on the top of the shelf instead of the bottom like I initially planned, because the top will not show, but the bottom will. So I think I'm going to keep the side that I like on the bottom and not care so much about what the top looks like, because where it is going to be positioned in my home, the top will not show. So that's how I'm going to do it. So the first thing we're going to do is start staining these 2 so that they can dry, and then we'll work on the wood, and we'll have to move to another location to do that staining. So it turns out the side I thought that was going to be the top and hidden, I want to be the bottom because I like it better. And this is what the puzzles came out like. So they will be on the top, which is the side that I thought was going to be the bottom, but it's not. While the stain is drying, I noticed the first problem. I cannot put the bracket straight. And I knew this before I started. So if I put these even, if I can get it even, that's even. Let's come down here. This is how much difference we're talking. So again, these were the 2 pieces of wood. I grabbed 4. These are the 2 pieces of wood that were closest in length. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attempt to center the difference. So that's how different it's going to be about on each side. Let's come back down here. Okay. So that's fine. I'm good with that. So this is the top now. Not how I thought we'd start out, but this is the top. This is the bottom that I love. So I'm going to keep this as the top, which means I'm going to E6000 these together, and then I'm going to E6000 the puzzles on here as well. So let's get started. So this is where we're at right now. Everything is E6000 together. And now I'm just going to put some weight on here for 24 hours. So I put this super heavy block on here that I could barely pick up. And we're just going to leave it for 24 hours. Now note, before you start this project, if you're going to leave it outside, make sure that you check your weather app for the next 24 hours because you don't really want this getting rained on. I did that and we look good. So yeah, so now we wait, guys, and we'll be back in 24 hours. So this is it, guys. This is the finished product. It's all cured and all put together. And I know that these are kind of unsightly, but they are needed for support. Maybe later on down the line, I'll pick up a darker stain. Since they're so much lighter than this wood, you know, they look almost like a cherry, whereas the wood itself, I guess that kind of does too. But yeah, so I have to do some touch-ups. You see that pale spot right there? I actually E6000 the board to the plastic mat I had it on because it dripped through, so it's okay. I'll do some touch-ups, but again, I was going for something very rustic looking, and I got it. Oh look, there's some E6000 hanging out there too and dry. But this will not show at all. It's so high up, it will not show at all. So now the only thing we have left to do is put up the brackets, and if you saw earlier on in this video, even that was a problem because we can't put them on normally. We have to put them on sideways. You got to work with what you got, I guess. So now for the installation.